The sun beat down. Dust swirled in the air, creating a haze that seemed to dance with the light. The land was parched, yearning for relief. This was home, a harsh land, unforgiving and relentless. The terrain was rugged, with rocky cliffs that stood as silent sentinels. Only the strong survived. That was the law. In this wild, it was survival of the fittest, a constant battle against the elements. And no one embodied it better than Alex. They called him Natural. He was hard, unyielding, a force of nature himself. Eyes cold as steel, always watching. His gaze was intense, piercing through the toughest of challenges. This land tested you, broke you down to your core. It was a crucible, forging strength and resilience, but Natural, he thrived on it. He embraced the adversity, turning it into his strength. Natural knew every inch of this valley, every rock, every tree, every hidden path. Its secrets whispered to him. The rustle of leaves, the subtle shifts in the wind, the cry of a hawk. He understood. He could read the signs, interpret the language of the wild. This land was in his blood. It was more than just a home. It was a part of him, just like the people he protected. Rough around the edges, but with hearts of gold. They were survivors, each one a testament to the strength of the human spirit. They were survivors, just like him. Natural wasn't chosen. He was born into this life, molded by it. He didn't ask for this life, it was thrust upon him. But he embraced it with unwavering resolve. But he was built for it. Every challenge, every hardship only made him stronger. Every scar told a story. Each one a badge of honor, a testament to his journey. Every line on his face etched with resilience. He was the shield, the protector, the embodiment of the wild spirit, the law of the wild personified. In him, the wild found its champion, its guardian. Life here wasn't easy. Every sunrise a victory, every sunset a sigh of relief. The people, they knew hardship. They knew loss, but they also knew strength, unity. It was their lifeline, their bond, unbreakable, forged in the fires of adversity. Generations bled into one another, stories passed down, tales of courage, of sacrifice. They were the echoes of their ancestors. A reminder, this land, it demanded respect, demanded resilience. Weakness, it was weeded out, culled by the harsh realities of nature. Children grew up fast here, learned the hard way, the value of a hard day's work, the weight of responsibility. They were taught to fight, to protect what was theirs, to never back down. It was in their blood, the spirit of the valley. A storm was brewing, not in the sky, not yet. But in the air itself, a tension, a sense of foreboding. Whispers traveled on the wind, stories of strangers, outsiders. Their eyes were filled with greed, their hearts cold. News reached Natural. The villagers, they felt it too. The unease, the fear, it crept into their homes. Mothers held their children closer. Fathers sharpened their blades. They looked to Natural, their protector, their leader. He wouldn't let them down. S1. He listened. Eyes narrowed. Danger was coming. He could feel it in his bones. This wasn't just a storm, it was a hurricane, and it threatened to tear his world apart. Natural knew what he had to do. Prepare. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him, but Natural, he didn't buckle. He stood tall, a beacon of strength in the gathering darkness. He called a meeting. The villagers gathered, fear and defiance in their eyes.
They are coming, Natural's voice, rough as gravel. They want what's ours. He looked at each of them. But we will fight. We will defend our home. We will show them what it means to face the law of the wild.
His words sparked a fire in their hearts. Fear turned to anger, anger into resolve. They had faced hardship before. They would face it again, together. Natural saw the shift, the fighting spirit of his people. It fueled his own. They were ready. The days that followed were a blur of activity. Preparations were made, defenses strengthened. Every man, woman, and child had a role to play. The valley hummed with nervous energy. His presence, a calming influence in the storm. He trained the young ones, taught them how to fight, how to survive. He shared his knowledge, his experience. He prepared them for the worst. S1. He was everywhere, directing, inspiring.
He knew the odds were stacked against them. The outsiders, they were many, well-armed.
But Natural, he refused to give in to despair. He would fight, he would lead, he would protect his people. It was his duty, his purpose.
Natural stood at the front, his gaze unwavering. He wouldn't back down. Narrator, the day dawned. A blood-red sunrise, a harbinger of the violence to come. The outsiders arrived, a tide of darkness spilling into their valley.
The first clash was brutal, a whirlwind of steel and fury. The air thick with the stench of sweat and blood. Natural fought like a man possessed. Every blow precise, deadly. He was a force of nature.
He moved with an almost supernatural grace, dodging blows, exploiting weaknesses. His eyes never left his enemy. He was a predator, and they were his prey.
But even as he fought, a part of him grieved. Every life lost, a piece of his heart chipped away. The battle raged for what felt like an eternity. Every second felt like a minute, every minute like an hour. The valley echoed with the sounds of war. Natural fought on. His body ached, his muscles strained under the relentless pressure. His muscles screamed for respite. But he couldn't stop, wouldn't stop. The weight of his people's hopes rested on his shoulders. His people were depending on him. Every glance, every cheer from the crowd fueled his determination.
I can't give up now. They need me. My team, my family, they all need me to stand strong.
He saw his friends fall, his neighbors. Each fall was a blow to his heart, but he couldn't afford to falter. Their faces etched in pain. The agony was clear, but so was their resolve. He felt a surge of rage, of grief. The emotions threatened to overwhelm him, but he pushed it down, buried it deep. There was no room for weakness. There was no time for emotion. Not now. Not when the stakes were so high. Not while his people still needed him. Their future depended on his strength.
Look at him, still standing. We must fight on. We must not let our spirits break.
He rallied his people. His voice cut through the chaos, a beacon of hope. His voice hoarse but filled with unwavering resolve. Every word a promise of victory. And fight they did, inspired by his courage, his unwavering spirit. They would not be broken. They stood together, united in purpose, as one for our homes, for everything we hold dear, for our families. Fight, fight, until the very end. The tide began to turn, slowly, painfully, but surely. The outsiders, they hadn't expected this kind of resistance, this ferocity, this unwavering will. They began to falter, to doubt.
This is our chance. We must press on.
Natural saw his chance. He pressed his advantage, fought with the fury of a cornered animal. He inspired his people, pushed them to their limits and beyond. And finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the outsiders broke. Victory. It was theirs. But it came at a cost. The valley was scarred, littered with the bodies of the fallen. Friends, neighbors, family. Natural looked upon the scene. His heart heavy, the price of resilience, the cost of survival. S1, victory is ours. The days that followed were a blur, a whirlwind of emotions and actions that seemed to blend into one another. The villagers tended to their wounded with care and compassion. They buried their dead with heavy hearts, each loss a painful reminder of the battle they had endured. The valley, once vibrant with life and laughter, was now shrouded in grief and silence. The echoes of joy had been replaced by the whispers of sorrow. The air was thick with the scent of death and despair, a constant reminder of the lives lost and the battles fought.
We must stay strong for those who remain. Our strength is their hope, and our resilience is their future.
Natural, he moved among them. His presence a comfort, a beacon of hope in these dark times. His every action spoke of resilience and determination. His strength was a source of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times there is light to be found. He helped where he could, offering words of solace and acts of kindness. His compassion was a balm to their wounded spirits. But his own wounds ran deep, both seen and unseen. The scars of battle, both physical and emotional, were a testament to his bravery and sacrifice. The scars of battle, both physical and emotional, were etched into his being. They told a story of pain, but also of survival and resilience.
We will remember them, always. Their sacrifices will not be forgotten, and their memories will live on in our hearts.
He knew that life would go on. It always did. But the path forward would be different, shaped by the events they had endured. But it wouldn't be the same. The landscape of their lives had been altered, and they would have to find a new way forward. The valley, their home, bore the scars of the battle, as did they all. But they had survived, and in their survival, they found strength. They had protected what was theirs, standing firm against the forces that sought to destroy them. And that, he knew, was what truly mattered. In the end, it was their resilience, their strength, and their unwavering spirit that would see them through. Natural, he was older now. His hair streaked with gray, his body bearing the weight of his years, but his spirit, it remained unbroken. He was a living legend. His name whispered on the wind, S1. Look at them, they are our future. Narrator. Years passed, the valley healed, life returned. Children played amongst the ruins, their laughter echoing through the valley, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
Our story, it will live on.
The story of the battle became a part of their history, passed down through generations, a reminder of their strength, their sacrifice, and the unwavering spirit that had allowed them to survive. The law of the wild lived on, embodied in the heart of every villager, a legacy forged in hardship and tempered in the fires of adversity.